This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
For the final time in 2025, hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST. Coming at you live. As always, we did it all season long on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am and you're somehow catching this show for the first time on game day 162, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and I don't know what else to say, man. Obviously, you're not playing for anything, but in a sense you are. Would have really been nice to avoid 90 losses with a win here today. Would have been really nice to end the horrible season with a series win. If you're able to win today, you rarely won on Sundays. You rarely won day games. You rarely won day games at the Big A. Sunday day games at the Big A. It would have, been very, very nice to pick up this win and to add all insult to injury. You're doing it against the Astros, right? So there was plenty of things to play for, despite it being obviously a theoretically meaningless game. And the Angels fall short 6-2, the final. And the Angels clinch back-to-back 90-loss seasons. I think that's the biggest takeaway in this game is, again, it doesn't make a huge difference losing 89 games versus 90, but it's hard not to think about what we've endured recently, right? Obviously, it's still an improvement from last season where you lose 99 games and you finish with slightly worse record than 2 years ago where you lost 89 games. But it's such a bummer, right? We did get a Mike Trout home run. That was really it. We did get a last second rally attempt possibility in the bottom of the ninth inning. That fell short, as it often did this season, especially in the second half of the season. But the Angels, I don't know. A lot of things were reminded today, even though it was a meaningless game. Before we really start this one, shout out to everybody in here because a big crowd, given it's the last game of the season, despite it being a meaningless game. Dave T, Nathan, Randy, Mahoko, Vinny, Jello M, Angels lose, Gene, Eric, Jeff. Shout out to all of you with the comments. Gibran Avila as well. Justin Alfrey in here as well. Matthew Smith. I'm giving every single person who left a comment a shout out. Sir hiding in a bush, who is probably hiding in a bush partially because of these Angels. Mateo's in here. Too many comments to read. Shout out to all of you for being in here. It's been a great season. It really has. Obviously, we started this thing last year on a separate channel with Locked On. This year, we move over to the main Locked On Angels YouTube channel. Forever grateful to the Halo Bros for that. And it was a great season. A lot of fun with you guys. And you guys obviously make the show. But with all the sappiness gone, we're wearing the hat that Vinny got me. Let's jump into this one. And I know you want to start with Mike Trout hitting the home run. I know you do. We'll get to that in a second, but that's not where we're going with to start this show.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I want to start with the starting pitching. And of course, we're not expecting a stellar start from Sam Aldergary against these Houston Astros. This is still a young starting pitcher. This is still a starting pitcher who we don't expect to be in the rotation. But this is just another game where we are reminded that things better happen this offseason. Obviously, we've been looking to the offseason for the past couple of months, it feels like. But if you needed one more reminder that oh my, we need a starting pitcher or two. We say farewell to Kyle Hendricks yesterday in what is probably his final start of the season, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, and what is probably his final start of his career, excuse me. We watched Caden Dana look okay, pretty good, but certainly not good enough to say he's a number 3 in a rotation. And we've seen all these other fill-in young guys show flashes, but also struggle. Mitch Ferris was probably the most successful. He fell off, right? We know the Jack Kohanowitz experience this season was a disaster. And Sam Algary, another guy who got some opportunities towards the end of the season. He gets one more opportunity, the last game of the season, and he wasn't awful, but he wasn't good enough. And I think this is really going to show how serious this team is about making 2026 the season where we finally break the streak, where we finally get to the playoffs. Because you could get fooled. You can, the same GM who told us that we were really competitive, he could try to make an argument that having a rotation that has the number 5, occupied by an Aldegari or a Mitch Ferris, or a Caden Dana, no realistic, logical person is going to say that's a good thing. But I certainly could see the Angels say, hey, let's get 4 good pitchers. Let's let one of these guys be our 5, and we'll see what happens. We'll still be really competitive. No. We're going to learn a lot about this team, because no serious team can look at, a guy in Aldegari who, again, was not terrible. His final stat line in this ball game, 4 2/3. He gives up 7 hits. He gives up 3 walks. He gives up 2 home runs, 4 earned runs. Honestly, anytime you give up two home runs, 3 walks, 7 hits, 4 earned runs is honestly kind of generous, right? Again, this is one of these starts that really concerns me, because it didn't feel like he did a single thing particularly well. He didn't limit the walks. He walked 3 guys. He didn't limit the hits. He gave up 7 hits. He didn't limit the long ball. He gave up 2 home runs. Sure, he had 5 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings, but I don't really care when you're giving up all those hits, giving up all those base runners, and you fall to 0-2. Now, of course, he didn't get many opportunities this season, so I'm not really that worried about the Angels looking to him to be, a guy in the rotation next year. Obviously, if they were prepping for that, they would have given him more than just these 2 starts in the month of September, right? They would have given him more starts. They gave Mitch Ferris opportunities before Aldegari. And while a lot of us, and especially the Super Halo Bros, were clamoring for him to get an opportunity, and I understand why, he's gotten the opportunity and he's looked at best, right? So hammered home. It is absolutely conferred. We don't have some secret diamond in the rough to save this rotation. We got to go get guys. Caden Dana, I think, could be a really interesting number 5 in a rotation that has 4 veterans ahead of him. And maybe Tyler Bremner is called upon halfway through next season. Think we'd be rushing him, but knowing us, it'll probably happen. But no. It can't be any of these guys we saw at the end of the season. None of them are good enough. No diss to them, but none of them are good enough. Obviously, the bullpen was interesting in this one as well. Connor Brogdon, I think it's all but confirmed he should not be in this bullpen next season. Another rough outing for him, 2 earned runs, 2 solo shots. The ERA is 5.55 on the season, not good enough. Zephyr John with a scoreless inning in the 6th, but still, in the 7th, but still a 4.74 ERA for him. Don't think he's good enough either. Sam Bachman, he will be in the bullpen, but he finishes with a 6.2 ERA despite the scoreless inning here. And then Peralta, who we barely saw this season, comes in the 9th and gets out of it. But still, this was a reminder that we are a long way, guys. We are a long way from being really competitive. And again, that first half of the season does feel like a fluke. As I see the Colts score a touchdown, I'm following that closely. Got a Rams show shortly after this one. But this is a team that's offense first, by the way. Offense first. Offense better than our pitching, better than our defense. And we consistently put up 2 runs every game. 2 runs. Like, come on. It's not good enough. It really isn't. So, the pitching's got to get a lot better. I don't think there's going to be major acquisitions made in this lineup unless there's some major departures we're not expecting with Joe Adels or Taylor Wards or anything like that. It feels like, whether we like it or not, this lineup is relatively set. Rengifo, I don't think, is safe. You can make an argument that center field is something that needs to be addressed in the offseason, but outside of that, there's not going to be many acquisitions in terms of bats. There better be acquisitions in terms of bullpen and the rotation, or else we ain't doing crud. That was unfortunately a friendly reminder. This game was where you only score 2 runs, and yet the offense was probably better than the pitching today. That's not a good sign at all. We're going to take our break. When we come back, we'll get to the bright spots because I guess there were a few to end the season. We did see Mike Trout go deep again, which is wonderful. We did see a couple guys we want to see get base hits, get those. But still not good enough there either. We'll talk about that, and then we'll answer this mystery question. Is Gavin coming back for Locked On Angels 2026? I'll let you know after our break here on one final 2025 edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. I'll be right back. Not to be the sappy guy, but it's the final postcast of the season. It's the final intro. It's the final comments. It's the final everything. And it's also the final ad read. So who are these final sponsors of 2025? Well, first off, it's my go-to. It's 5-Hour Energy, baby. 5-Hour Energy. Look, caffeine, it just got a major flavor upgrade. 5-Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. When do I need it? On the way to work. For me, I go to the gym before work. So you know what I'm doing? I'm driving to San Francisco. It's about a 50-minute drive. I don't got time to have cups of coffee and big jugs of energy drinks. Nope, just a nice little 5-Hour Energy shot. Boop, take it while I'm driving, walk into the gym, knock out my lift, shower, and I'm ready for a great day. Or it's like right now, I'm not even lying, about 30 minutes ago, I'm like, look, I got an Angels show while I'm simultaneously trying to watch this Rams game. Then I'm going to have a 1-hour Rams show after this. Man, I need a little 5-Hour Energy shot, especially after a weekend where you maybe aren't sleeping that much. So enough with these boring, flavorless caffeine options. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold and try something new in store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Today's show also brought to you by Zippix. Zippix toothpicks. Whether you're looking for a nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. It's available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you ever need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. So go to zippixtoothpicks.com, use code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. You must be 21 or older to order, and warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks. Finally, today's show brought to you by Nutrafol. Now, look, you've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, like that one actually works. There are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. And now Nutrafol is the official hair growth partner of Major League Baseball, a sport known for long, flowy hair. Come on now. It is perfect. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF-certified contents, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. Again, NSF content certified. That's money. So see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Back here live one more time in 2025. It's the Locked On Angels postcast, and one more time in 2025, we had to watch the Angels lose. Now, it's funny, I was going through things yesterday just to see. I was curious, and today's show is officially the 140th Locked On Angels postcast of the year. It means I went 140 for 162 in terms of doing shows. I'd say that's a pretty good rate. I don't know the exact math there. Why not do the calculator and see what 140 divided by 162 86% of Angels games. I was able to do a post-game show. I'll take that. I think probably 10 of those were missed because I was doing other shows, and the other 12 are because, life happens sometimes. But pretty proud of that. Hope you guys enjoyed a majority of them. Yes, thank you for the update. Angels lose. The Rams do fumble and the Colts recover. Not good at all. He says Indiana Jones is going to ruin Gavin's weekend. I saw some other people in here saying it's been a rough go for me this weekend. Absolutely. Some of you might remember. Some of you probably forget from the old background, a bunch of Chelsea jerseys. Big time Chelsea fan. They lost this weekend. UCLA got killed. The Angels can't win a game to save their lives. And the Rams look like they're going to lose too. It's brutal. It is brutal. But let's talk about the brutal Angels who finished with their 90th loss here, largely because no offense. Once again, we did see Mike Trout with a first inning home run. Right after Sam gives up a run at the top of the first, Mike Trout goes deep for his 26th of the season. And just like that, we are feeling more and more and more and more confident that Mike Trout will get to 500 homers in his career. I mean, I certainly thought that was the case coming into the season. Then you see him get on that great stretch to start the season. You're like, oh, for sure. And then you see him absolutely collapse, and now you're not feeling too good. Well, guess what? In recent games, he continues to stay hot. Now, 5 homers in his last 7 games. The average is .333. The on-base percentage is .417. The slug is 1.095. 5 homers in 21 at-bats. 5 of his 7 hits, home runs. The crazy thing, and the reason the Angels still are not a good baseball team, is Mike Trout hits his 5th home run in his last 7 games and has just 6 RBIs in his last 7 games. That is crazy. And that was the case here. Solo shot in the bottom of the first inning. The only other run of this ball game did not come all the way until the 9th inning, and an interesting 9th inning it was for the Angels. It starts with a Joe Adell single, which is great. You know how great of a year he's had, as the Rams do hold the Colts to 3. I'll take that. Chris Taylor gets a base hit. It's first and second, nobody out. Would have been a great opportunity for Christian Moore to get something done, but he flies out, does advance Joe Adell to third. It was a decently hit ball from Christian Moore, by the way, 360 feet, but, not able to do anything. Carter Kieboom, out of nowhere, gets a base hit, scores Adell. Now first and second with 1 out. Sebastian Rivero, base hit, loads the bases. Bases juiced, Angels trailing by 4. Denzer Guzman, the tying runner at the plate. Great opportunity to have one more storybook moment in 2025, but unfortunately back-to-back strikeouts from 2 polar opposites of the spectrum. You got Denzer Guzman, about as young, inexperienced as possible, and Taylor Ward, the most experienced guy outside of Mike Trout on this baseball team. Guess what? They both strike out. And that kind of perfectly sums up this season, because whether the Angels were trying their young guys, whether the Angels were relying on their big-time older veteran hitters, you knew there was one constant for the Angels in 2025, going to be poor with runners in scoring position and going to strike out all the darn time, especially in big moments. Larry says was absolutely hilarious watching Ward looking at strike 3 per usual. I mean, yeah, there's no more fitting a way to end this season than having Taylor Ward look at strike 3. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, there was only 6 hits today. A bunch of them came in that inning. Outside of the Trout solo shot, the Joe Adell and Chris Taylor and Carter Kieboom and Sebastian Rivero hits all come in that inning. The only other inning with a hit, only other hit outside of the solo shot and 9th inning was the middle of the game by Denzer Guzman. It really was a brutal game for the Angels. They go 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position, ironically better than the Astros, who are 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position and strand 10. But all in all, the Angels fall 6-2. Larry S. says he's going to miss the postcast so far. The best thing of being a fan of this team. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Trying to look at all the comments today since it is the last time. Let's see here what else we've got. Roger says, we don't have one pitcher in our organization that commands the strike zone consistently. Yeah, I do think it was another brutal reminder when we're watching Jose Soriano take home the award as best pitcher for the Angels this season on a season that was undoubtedly a disappointment for him, right? Like, that's just not good, right? There's no other way to put that. Roger also says the season ended the way it started. I would trade Taylor Ward for pitching. His value will never be higher. We will never be successful until we have pitchers that command the strike zone. We know how I felt about Taylor Ward. Baby Yoda says, give us your prediction on who you think will be the Halos manager next season. I'll be honest, I truly have no idea. I truly have no idea. I don't think I've been so unsure about who will be leading this team in forever. It's a weird feeling, albeit, there's so much uncertainty with this team to begin with. But it does feel like a team and a roster where the manager is really important. Obviously, on most teams, the manager is important. But when you have this weird combination of guys who are 20 with this combination of guys that are 38, you need a manager that can be able to control both, right? Be experienced enough to be respected by a Mike Trout, by a Taylor Ward. Not that I'm worried about those guys at all in terms of their character. I know Mike Trout and Taylor Ward are going to respect whoever the manager is, but you know what I mean, right? If you want to bring in any older veterans, you need a guy who's commanding enough, respected enough to be able to boss around 10-year veterans, 15-year veterans, but also a guy who's smart, innovative enough, has the right character, is nurturing enough to deal with the Christian Moores, the Bryce Teodosios if he's there, the Denzer Guzmans if he's there, hopefully a Nelson Rada next season, right? I really have no idea. I know Torrey Hunter has been spammed in this group chat for so many games and really the whole season. Some people have been throwing in Albert Pujols' name. There's Larry doing both, bringing Hunter or Pujols. We will see. We will certainly see. What do we do about O'Hoppe? Asked Randy. That's probably the other big question, right? I think it's pretty certain that the Angels must bring back Joe Adell. But O'Hoppe, it's a question mark. I feel like they did an interesting thing here this season when they said we need a guy to be able to give O'Hoppe a break in Travis d'Arnaud. But then it became, wait, Logan O'Hoppe stinks and d'Arnaud's playing better than him. And d'Arnaud's not even playing well. So do you go one step further next season and bring on a big-time catcher who can compete with him? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But there's a lot of holes, a lot of question marks. Rams driving, trying to keep my eyes on that as well. Jello M says, will you be talking about the preseason games in the postcast? I will not. It will only be the regular season games. And I guess that brings me to the final question that other people were having about next season. And if I'll be here, I'll be honest, nothing is decided. Certainly, I would love to be here. I think, Locked On appreciates me as well. But, life is life. We don't know exactly what's going to happen every day. I'll be honest. I started a brand new big time job. I just relocated to San Francisco. And so as long as everything schedule permits with my new job and it continues to work with the postcast, I want to do them. I know you guys want me to do them. I'm pretty sure Locked On wants me to do them. So the expectation, kind of like a Mike Trout or a Taylor Ward, the expectation is that I will be back, but we will obviously let you know if anything changes. But it's been a great season. Really excited for, next year and what that will bring. Mahoko says, thanks for the amazing shows. Mahoko, shout out to you. You've been here. I know you got different time zones and stuff. Shout out to you. Angels Lose, who obviously is formerly Angels Win, says, thanks for a great season. Gavin makes the losing bearable. It was great meeting you in person. Shout out to you and Dylan and Vinny. To meet the three of you guys in person was awesome. I know I'm in the Bay Area now, but certainly looking forward to, going down to the Big A a couple times next season, meeting more of you guys in person. Gene says, please, Gavin, don't worry. I am certainly expecting to be here. Larry says, you must come back, Gavin. Certainly expecting to be here. Halo J says, Locked On, bring him back. It's certainly the plan. Deshaun, shout out to you. You've been awesome. Eric says, Locked On, Gavin, not quite. This is a big time network, but everyone here is awesome. But yes, certainly the plan. See you next season. That's the plan. Jello M says, I got into being an Angel watching you. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe that. Dave T says, thanks for giving us something to look forward to in a dismal season. It really was a brutal season, but it was fun the first half of the year. Let's not forget, it was really fun the first half of the season because the Angels were one of the hottest teams in baseball to start. A lot of their wins were crazy comeback wins with grand slams and walk-off homers and all this craziness, right? There were a lot of fun moments the first half of the season. So if we could just get that for a full year, man, this game or this post-game show, but also just being an Angels fan, it could be really, really fun. Larry says you better do a few shows with the Super Halo Bros in the offseason. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, and I probably will. Obviously, I'm very involved in the network, doing the Rams, doing UCLA, would be doing basketball if I didn't work for a basketball team. Eric says, any notable highlights from this year? A couple. I'd say obviously sweeping the Dodgers was probably the most fun we had this season. The shows were absolutely packed. Seeing Dodgers fans in here being salty and Angels fans in here losing their mind. Ashton Genty, third touchdown of the game. I have him in fantasy. Sorry, I had to get hyped about that. But yeah, that was probably the highlight. Sweeping the Dodgers, of course. There was some other fun ball games as well. There was some great moments in this one, right? Obviously, the Trout 400th homer was amazing. There were a couple crazy walk-offs from Taylor Ward and Joe Adell with runners on base. I'd say the highlight of the season, Dave T is absolutely right, is Joe Adell finally coming around and becoming a big-time player for the Angels. Looking forward to that next year as well. But we're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in here. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a great rest of your 2025, folks. If you are a Rams fan or a football fan, join me in about an hour for the Locked On Rams squad show right after the Rams game. If you're a UCLA fan or a college football fan, I'll be continuing the UCLA postcast as well. Father 2 says, thank you for always hosting a good show. What position is the biggest need to fill? Father 2, we need a starting pitcher, man, without a doubt. That's number one. Would love a guy that can hit over 280 as well, but starting pitcher is absolutely number one. Take care. Again, yes, Larry, that's the last thing. Let's root against the Dodgers all postseason. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a great rest of your 2025. And as always, one final time, go Angels, baby. See you next year. Love you guys.